All right, let's speak to Bulama Bukarti, a security analyst and a Nigerian human rights lawyer, joining us live now from London. So just hearing there from Ibrahim, a journalist who's been trying to follow this story and even tried to get to the school but wasn't able to and was pushed back. In general, this has been happening now for more than a decade. What happens to the children, such large numbers, when they are kidnapped? And are any of them rescued or returned back to their families?
I mean, you are right. This has been happening for more than a decade, and this is the 13th mass kidnapping of Nigerian children in the last since 2014. Over 2,000 students have been abducted in the 13th incident I mentioned. Typically, when these kinds of attacks happen, especially in the northwest and the north central parts of Nigeria, it is mostly for economic motives. What these gangs do normally is to keep these children in captivity for weeks, sometimes months, and extort ransoms from either their families or from the government. And these ransoms can run into hundreds of thousands of dollars before releasing them. In other cases, we have seen bandits keeping children on whom ransom have not been paid and impregnating them after serially raping them, especially female children. But the predominant motive is economic in that part of Nigeria. Of course, many people will remember this northeastern part of Nigeria, where Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa province have also been kidnapping students. And in some cases, we have seen them keeping those students for years. Like the Chibok girls, some of them are still with Boko Haram. It is very unfortunate because this indicates that Nigerian education system is under attack.
I was going to ask you about this with the education system, because how is this affecting the education system? But also, UNICEF says that the majority of schools don't even have early warning systems. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, this is badly affecting Nigeria's education system. Through closure of schools, hundreds of schools are closed right now, and therefore our children's education will be interrupted. In many cases, children who have been removed from school so far from early marriage and other kinds of social issues that will keep them from school forever. And of course, that then risks creating a generation of Nigerian children who are studying under an atmosphere of fear and apprehension, and this is not good for learning. And in other cases, it is just constantly interrupted education. And this will affect Nigeria's productivity and our ability to compete with children from all over the world or even from other parts of Nigeria in years to come. When education is attacked, it also impacts on the legitimacy of the government, because it is a symbol of civil life for students to be in school. And what we are seeing is continuing attacks. And you are right, some schools don't have early warning systems, but many schools located in jungles do not even have basic fencing. And therefore, these gangs just walk into the schools, walk away with the whole student body, and just disappear into thin air. And this is in spite of the declaration by the Nigerian government more than 10 years ago that it had introduced a safe schools initiative. It has not worked, it is not working, and Nigerian schools are extremely exposed.
So if that's not working, what is going to work? Because as you said, it's been happening for more than a decade. Why has the Nigerian government and military been unable to prevent these attacks that started in 2014? And do they need perhaps international help or assistance on this?
Yeah, so what is happening is that these terrorists and criminal gangs are constantly and increasingly targeting the softest targets. And there couldn't be a softer target than a primary school where you have children between the ages of 6 and 12, unfortunately. Why this is not working is because the Nigerian government is approaching this issue in the wrong way. After the Chibok kidnapping, the Nigerian government introduced a policy of protecting schools while terrorism and criminality is festering in the rest of the society. This cannot work. It is like isolating one part of the body and protecting it from cancer while the rest of the body is being ravaged by cancer. If you want to protect schools, you have got to protect the whole community. And protecting the whole community required a rapid response mechanism. It requires rapid enforcement system, which is currently not run in Nigeria. It also requires Nigeria's security forces to be on the defensive rather than being on the defensive as it is right now. Most of our security response is right now isolated reactionary measures rather than something that can prevent attacks. And I think we need to do better in that. Nigeria needs to do better in protecting its borders through which arms and drugs are coming into the country. International intervention or support is needed, but only targeted international support, strategic international support in terms of intelligence sharing, in terms of bolstering Nigeria's air logistics capacity, training Nigerian security forces on early or rapid response system and rapid reinforcement systems, and also selling Nigeria arms and ammunition and intelligence equipment, which is lacking in some parts of Nigeria. But direct military intervention, especially large foreign troops on Nigerian soil, is not the way to go. That is going to cause political backlash. It's going to complicate the command and control in the country, and it is going to give propaganda material for terrorist groups operating in the country.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for your thoughts. Mr. Bulama Bukarti there, speaking to us from London.
Thank you very much for having me.